Hey everyone, it's Will, GamerDad, with another video for you. So in today's video, I'm going to show my journey to conquer one of the S-Class bounties in the game, as well as obtain the Elpis Lance. Now if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. So keep in mind that unfortunately you will have to have taken down some previous bounties. I believe the precursor to this one would have been in the Aquatic Fantasia. There was a fish you would have had to beat, after which you will have explored this Blistering Isle and gotten to this hidden path, so to speak. So in this case, we're going to take down the minion before facing Ikugara, which is a very tough flying boss, and will give you the Elpis Lance at the end of the battle. So of course, we can always do a first turn AF. However, you really do have to be mindful of the HP stopper, being that it will hit you, and so if you don't have a shield, like in this case I am using the 5000 HP guaranteed shield with AS Yukino, you can take lethal damage. And so after that, it's just a matter of using the rest of my 1A Pierce team in order to finish off Dockson. And of course, after you kill and mark off one of the bounties, it'll drop something, especially the later ones, the A and S class ones will drop things that will lead to different fights or different areas in the game. And so first of all, I will show you the loadout. This particular, I'll call it sub-boss before the actual boss, isn't too difficult, provided you do have some mitigation and ability to damage the boss. Keep in mind that a lot of these higher end S-class bounties will have auras and things that you don't want to attack specifically, so make sure you check the information on the boss before you take it on. And of course some Grasta holders, and so on and so forth. So remember that book that Dockson dropped? Now as we make our way up the Blistering Isle, one of the Hurricane members will require the book, in which he will hand it to him and move onwards to take on the head of the Hurricane. So the head of the Hurricanes is going to be one of the S-class bounties. Don't forget that you have to go back to the bounty hunter hideout in the mid later in order to kind of collect your rewards. And don't forget another key item here, which was used in another unlocking later on in the game. And finally, we are going to take on Ikaruga, sorry, not Ikugara. And so this one is a very challenging fight. I do apologize for the delay in getting this one out. I kind of wanted to find a different way to fight it instead of making it ugly or just drawn out. And so I came up with this particular strategy. We're going to use a one-turn AF to bring it down to the HP stopper. And it has two HP stoppers, one at 50 and one at 25%. Nothing specific, except do not use weakness attacks against it, otherwise it will raise its physical and type shielding to 90% of each, which will make your life a lot harder afterwards. So you can use both shade damage and fire damage. Also wind damage, the enemy is vulnerable to it. Now the problem is two things. If you hit it to an HP stopper on its own, by like you hitting it to the HP stopper, it'll attack you with an AoE that can wipe your team. If you let it hurt itself, and I believe it hurts itself about 5% every turn at the end of the turn after everything is kind of said and done, then it will not attack you with such a large powerful attack. And I'll show you a little bit later on what that means. So in this case, one of the challenges is also if you bring it to the HP stopper, it will still counter with attack on top of its kind of HP stopper attack. So you can actually face two attacks back to back, which makes it more difficult to handle. Ify is obviously the star of the show here, giving blood contract at the turn start, the fight start, in order to make sure you can survive 3 AoE attacks. And being that the enemy only does 1 AoE attack per turn essentially, except for at each HP stopper, where if you bring it yourself to the HP stopper, it'll do its own AoE and then the HP stopper AoE, then you're going to have some issues there. One other thing is the enemy can do a knockback attack, and we use Nocturnal Procession to protect against that kickback motion to leave all 4 members up front. Also, it does have a 30 hit barrier at all times and will refresh that barrier at each of the HP stoppers. So it gets really ugly if you aren't able to do a lot of damage and be able to either survive its hits or type shield up. And I tried a couple of different teams before finally settling on this one. Actually, my youngest son was able to beat it with an Efi-led team, and so I decided to bite the bullet, use Efi, and win the fight. And one of the unique parts of this particular clear is that I brought it to such a small sliver of life left that it killed itself. So I thought that was kind of cool, and I did decide to save this particular clear for you all to enjoy. It certainly wasn't the lowest turn clear, but I think this is the first time I can say that I've killed a boss by it killing itself. So Ikaruga did seppuku and hurt itself, and I was able to come away with a nice victory, although not a clean one. Let me know in the comments below how you did against these boss fights. I know I'm very behind. Work has been extremely crazy, as well as I'm going to be going on vacation in the next week or so, so I will have very little time and access to the game. So again, I will try to get things out. I know there's a lot of content I want to produce, but time is of the essence, and honestly, yeah, running short on that. One of the other interesting things about this clear is that if you watch my one turn AF, Efi is actually not attacking. I do not have a 4-slot Efi, and so I was only able to spam Rosa Liliac, which does not do any damage or hits in the AF. However, that's offset by the fact that I have Flash Strike stance, and so Melissa's extra 10% charge per hit allows me to still carry out an AF to do sufficient damage to bring it to the HP stopper. Aquaji, of course, is to heal at the end of every turn, and of course we do have Crest there to hold Sword and Fire Sword Grasta for Monoka. Monoka obviously is our other MVP, being that she is easily able to barrier pierce without any conditions. And so I know I'm cheating a little bit by using some scam units. Efi's Blood Contract is honestly a real big scam, and Monoka's high DPS with barrier pierce is also quite scammy as well. I mean, these two could probably replace Eva and Flam as a new scam team. And so we do get the Elpis Spear, which, like its counterparts, does do overthrow and crit rate guaranteed. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.